I wanted to ask you, since you don't have a town administrator now, what's the chain of command in town in terms of people answering?
Excuse me. We do have a interim or temporary, which is Helen Denon. She's doing a great job, by the way. So any of the town administrators' questions would right now come through her.
And then does that get filtered up to you on the major stuff?
I'm sure it would. Yes. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
How much contact do you have with Chief Enos, day to day, week to week?
I don't. A couple times a week I may call him. I haven't spoken to him the last 2 days. I know that. Or 3 days until I think I spoke to him Thursday or Friday.
But in the normal course of your being a selectman, that really hasn't changed outside the town administrator. You talk with the chief pretty regularly, right?
Occasionally, yes. Not on a regular basis, but we do talk with him. Yes. On any police matters or anything that's correct.
And you usually don't have any problem getting a hold of him?
No.
But you did have.
He sees my number, and being a chairman of Selectmen, he does answer.
But you did have a problem getting a hold of him for the hearing, did you not? A couple of weeks ago.
The hearing.
The hearing that I was at, where he.
No, actually, he was. I think he was running behind. He was late. Oh, I know what it was. Oh, excuse me. He had. I think he took his mother to the hospital. Did something.
You had to put the hearing off a day because you couldn't notify him. You needed a 48-hour advance. That was originally, you said on that Monday meeting, it was scheduled for Thursday, and it got pushed to Friday. Because, in fact, they were trying to get a hold of him and couldn't get a hold of him. Does that ring any bells?
I don't remember that, but you may be correct. I don't remember that.
The chief's contract calls for him to live in town. And is he doing that?
I assume he is. I think he lives on Blanding Road.
So you don't know for sure?
I don't run around and check all the employees. I know he did. He was living there. I have no reason to believe he isn't living there.
If he was not living there, that would be a violation of his contract?
I'd have to look into it. Yeah. I have no idea. I mean, other than what I understand, he lives on Blanding Road. That's the information we have, and that's where I assume he lives.
As the chairman of the Board of Selectmen, should you know where he's living if he's not living in town?
I'd be interested to know, but like I say, I don't follow the chief. I don't follow the other. We're too busy. It's I haven't been following that at all. I'm assuming he lives on Blanding.
Well, we have been following him in the last month and a half. He's been residing every night in Pawtucket.
Oh, no kidding. Well, that's interesting.
Is that a problem for you?
I'll have to let me hear the other side of the story. Let me talk to the chief before I comment.
Well, the other side of the story is that, and I'm not sure what his will be, but he's living at the address that was in that police report, 45 Dodge Street, that the woman had the keys.
Like I say, that's what you're claiming, and I'd like to hear the other side before I comment. I'm not going to comment on anything like that until I hear the other side.
Okay. And the chief, I know he doesn't have exact 9 to 5 hours, but we've also.
Right. He's he puts in probably 60 hours a week. He's on salary, so he has flexibility. He's on nights. I know he goes out nights, days, weekends. It's hard to in any leadership position like that. He has to be very flexible with his hours.
The other thing is the contract calls for if he's going to be out of Rehoboth for more than 24 hours, and I'm sure you know this contract clause, he has to notify the town. Have you been notified that? It's administrator?
He would notify first of all, I think notify a second in command up there. And then I think that would go through the liaison, which would be Mr. Leffert.
But it hasn't bubbled up to you at all?
I haven't, no. It hasn't got to me yet. No.
Finally, we have been following the chief the last, I would say, probably the last month. He basically comes in about 9 o'clock, leaves about 11:30 or 12, and spends the rest of the day at this apartment in Pawtucket. Mm-hmm. And what's your reaction to that?
Like I say, that's one side of the story, and I'll certainly look into it and make it.
Would that be a problem for you if he was not?
Let me. Of course, it'll be a problem. Let me look into it. Like I say, I don't. I got to get both sides of the story. You can understand that.
That's our job also. Yeah. So, and Chief Enos chooses not to return my calls, so I come to his boss, which is you.
That's correct. Yeah.
So that's why we're trying to get answers on behalf.
Yeah.
He is also living and taking his, the contract calls for him to be using his cruiser. I know he has access to it 24 hours. We talked about this, and some limited personal use. That's his only vehicle. Mm-hmm. He owns no other personal vehicle.
I don't know that neither.
But would that be a problem for you also?
That would be a problem, yeah.
And that's why he took it to the Riviera that night.
I don't know that was the reason, but I will look into these things, because I don't,
And one more thing for you to consider, where he is living in Pawtucket is 100 yards from the worst housing project, high crime area.
I will look into it, I can promise you. And the next time I see you, I'll have a report for you, so.
Well, I don't need a report from you. You don't answer to me. I'm just.
If you're going to be here, you seem to be every meeting asking questions, and
We're putting together a report for this week. So if you happen to talk to him, and can, I'll give you my contact information.
fine.
You've always been very open about it.
yeah. No, I have concerns, absolutely. Yeah, we'll look into it.